to Sessions with Judith John. In today's session, we are going to see the nuances of how to write a notice, which is a question in section B. And our aim is to score the full marks in this question of writing a notice. All of us very carelessly, we think to ourselves that notice is something that we have been writing right from class 6 or so. And we are very comfortable thinking that yes, it's easy, it's an easy question. We can all just write a notice. But there are many nuances which we have to keep in mind. First of all, with the changed question paper pattern of CBSE, question number 1 in part B, subjective question, is the notice, one of the options. The total marks that the question carries is 3 marks, unlike earlier. They have reduced the marks. And whenever you're making a notice in your answer sheet or in your notebook, make sure that it occupies one page fully. Don't make it in one corner, in one quarter page, in one half page and all that. Please see that it is made using one full page. Draw a box around it that is also included for the marks. Otherwise, you might lose half a mark there. And of course, roughly the word limit given is 50, but you need not sit and count the words. If all the information required is there, then it is understood that your notice is complete. When for CBSE evaluation, teachers sit to correct, they look for whether all the relevant points are there. That is more important than anything else. So here, if you look at, we have to be first familiar with the marking scheme. Only then we will know whether we are really writing our notice so well to perfection to score the full 3 marks. So format carries 1 mark. That is, it has to be inside a box. And I will show you how exactly the format should be in detail. The content, the relevant points which are asked very much, which comes from the question only. So everything is actually mentioned in the question and given the situation. So you have to just go by that. And then, of course, expression. That is your sentence structure, whether it's without mistake, without spelling errors, and whether it's grammatically correct sentences used to write the notice. Now let's go on to see why the notice. What really is the definition of a notice? If you look at a notice in general, it's just an announcement or a piece of information given to the public or a section of people at one time together. Whenever we want to communicate something to many people at one time together, then it becomes a notice. It's easy. You draft it. You might have seen notices in the school notice board, in your society where you're living in, the notice boards. Your parents who are working will see it on their office notice boards and so on. These days, even that has gone virtual. So you would see it on different platforms in your school Moodle platform and so on. It is very factual. You must remember that this is factual. So no extra stories or made up anything, no decorated language is required. It's a formal piece of writing, okay, and therefore incomplete correct sentences. And usually it is about an upcoming event or rules that have to be followed. Okay, any kind of public announcement that has to be made can become a notice. One thing what all of us have to keep in mind is that it has to be effective. If I'm writing a notice and people are not able to understand what is written on that, or if they are not able to follow what I'm trying to say, then it's worthless. So it has to be effective. It is of course a very quick way, because the moment you put a notice in the entrance or the notice board of any school or any society complex or office or any workplace, easily it reaches to everyone, because everyone will be passing through that way, walking by that way. So quickly it catches their glance. So you have schools, colleges, society buildings. Sometimes you find the notices even in newspapers. when notices have to go to a particular area, people even make it into a pamphlet and drop it into homes, drop it in marketplaces, so that many can reach many others, although the content remains the same. Now, coming to the very important point of the format and content of a notice. Now, this is the way it has to be placed in a box. You draw an outline completely, a rectangle kind of, and usually your exam papers also come in this shape. So you can just draw that out. And then on top, you must write the name of the issuing organization or institution with the place. So say for example, it's Rosebud School, Hyderabad, or something, whatever the name and the place that has to go on top. Now, if you notice, I have uh, written the first letter of these words that I'm pointing to in blue and the rest in a different color. Why so? Because these letters alone have to be in capitals. Always remember that the first letter, not the whole thing. The whole name and place should not be in capitals. It's only the uh, first letter that has to be written in capitals. Many a time students confuse. They write the whole thing in capitals. Some of them carelessly write the whole thing using small letters. This is your English paper, so it's very important about using, this. So here you can see that you have to use uh, all capital letters. Here you can just see that. Okay, again I am just trying to make a mark so that you will understand and remember that. And the very next thing which is very important is, children, the notice. The word notice has to be written in total capital letters. This is something very important. It has to be written in capital letters. And then you have here the date of issue. Okay, that also cannot go missing. When are you putting up the notice? There may be people seeing it 5 minutes after you have put up the notice. There may be people who are seeing it at the end of the day. Or some who have missed it may see it the next day. So they should know how important this notice is. When was it put up that I have missed it or something? So the date of issue is important on this side. The layout is very important. What has to go on the right side? What has to be here in the middle? If you see this, the institution name and the place and the notice and the caption or heading, all these are in the middle, and the date of issue is to the extreme left. Everything else will start on the left hand side only. Nothing has to shift to the right. Okay, so here where it comes to the caption or the heading, again you would have seen that I am highlighting and writing this in different colors here. Why? Again, the first letter of every word in the caption or the heading should be in capital letters, and that is also very important. Now, when you are writing that, please remember that no word should be repeated. It cannot be, heading cannot be attention, which very often I've seen students doing. That's not the way it has to be done. You have to write a proper heading which will tell you what the notice is about. So I will be showing you more samples also as we go ahead. For now, you can just get a clear picture of the layout of the notice, the format of the notice. And now coming to the content, I have already said it has to be in very simple formal language, brief, to the point. Basically, if you answer all the WH questions of, like what, when, who, where, why, how, then surely your notice will become complete. You will not miss any point. Okay, so at least 4 of these are all the relevant points, and if you look at the question carefully, all the points are usually covered in the question itself. If we go part by part with the question and you cover all those points, then your notice will surely cover everything. If you're talking about an event, surely the date, time and venue of the event has to be added. and we ended up with the sign of the issuing authority. Now again, when we say sign, don't scribble out something. Signing, in most students think it means scribbling. It's not scribbling, it's only writing your name in your handwriting. Now usually the question will provide you the name of the person who is writing the notice, so you have to write that same name which is given in the question. And of course the designation of the issuing authority, that is what post, either it is the school pupil leader, the principal, the secretary, or the housemaster, or accordingly whoever it be. So that also has to be mentioned. I will surely show you more samples of these as we go ahead. You have to remember these points which are very, very important. Like when we go ahead, I have already said no repeating the same word 3 times to make it a 3-word heading. You have to write different words which will convey what the notice is about. And then we go on to where we have to write the word notice in the middle, right on top. It has to be in capitals. Okay, and the date, where we are writing the date, it's very, very important. We have to write it in this manner. Okay, like it's something you cannot miss on. So yeah, like this. Okay, I am completely kind of trying to highlight it so that you will not miss on this. Don't write the date in numbers, don't write the name as, so it has to be written in this manner only. Okay. All right, so this is something again very, very important. Please note that. And then you have here, if you want to make your notice complete, there is only one way: read the question carefully. If you read the question carefully, then all the points will be provided over there anyway, and make sure that you make the box provided in one page. Okay, this is again another very, very essential. Now coming to a practice question that I am trying to give you here, you can go ahead practicing using all the hints that I have provided, using the format that I have provided. So you can just go ahead writing and checking out on whether you are able to write. This is one common question that will appear surely in any of your exams in the school or in, and one more question, one in the school and one in your society. Now these are the common kind of questions which will be asked even in the board exam. So I hope all of you will write and practice these questions. There is nothing like written practice if you want to score full marks in English. That is one of the most important things. So when you have learned now something about, say, how to write a notice, you have seen the format, you have seen, the most important thing is go about with the next important thing, and that is this, children, you have to practice the questions. When you practice, you just check out, you can check out whether it's coming out in this manner. You might be writing in your notebook or in your, so I'm trying to show you a sample of how exactly it should look if you have written. See here, all the points have been covered. They are it is written very clearly. I can once more just point out to you for a revision the way the name of the school and place is written, the way notice is written in capitals, the way the date is written, the way the heading is written in 3 words conveying exactly what the notice is about. Look at the matter which will fall into more or less 50 words. And then here, of course, because there is no name given, the student has written XYZ, otherwise a question usually provides a name, and then there is the designation also. Keeping in mind all this, please do practice, write and practice. If you have any doubts and queries on how to write a notice, any doubt coming up in any area of English in classes 11 and 12, you can always contact me with these details shown here. You please keep watching my sessions for more inputs and more tips on how to score good marks in English. You can of course put your comments in the comment box that comes along with this video, and otherwise you can also contact me by mailing me on sessionswithjudithjohn@gmail.com for any more queries and one-to-one classes more for asking all kinds of doubts that you students usually get. In English doesn't require hours and hours of study, but it surely you'll come up with a lot of doubts, so you can surely clear all your doubts over here. Okay, so wish you all the best. Thank you until we meet again.